Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Warwick Sciences Year 7 Chemical Sciences Film Practicals on separation techniques. In this one we're going to do sort of three specialist techniques, that being magnetic separation, chromatography and centrifuging. Let's start with magnetic separation because it's probably the easiest. Essentially you would use a magnet to extract or separate any of the magnetic material. Okay, so I've got some sand and iron filings here. You just run the magnet over it and you end up picking up the iron filings, and that's simply all that magnetic separation is done. Remembering only three metals are magnetic: cobalt, nickel and iron, so you can't do this with any other metal other than those three. And again, a fairly simple way, and I've actually collected pretty much all of the iron out of this particular solution. Mixture, not a solution, mixture from there. Now the second one is chromatography, and chromatography we use to separate liquids, so soluble liquids, and we use that by putting them into a solvent. So here we've got a little bit of water. Here we've got a texture dot, and you simply place it in there, and what you notice happens is that the water starts to move its way up, okay, and smalls up and climbs up through the very small spaces in the chromatography paper. It's specialist chromatography paper, and then it will rise up. Now this is another one that takes a little bit of time, so what I'll do is I'll simply allow it to move up. I'll probably speed up the video a bit just so it doesn't take as long. It's now basically got to the bottom of the dot, so it's moving through the dot. A bit hard to see on the video, of course, because now it'll, as you'll notice, hopefully soon it'll start to spread its way through. You can start to see that it's now starting to dissolve some of the pigments that is in the colour, and essentially what will happen is the water will continue to move up through the chromatography paper, and the different pigments that make up, in this case the colour blue, will be separated out. The heavier pigments will be relatively low because they're needing to work against gravity. The lighter pigments in there will work their way up, and just because I like to, I have a couple that I have prepared here, so you can start to see that the different colours will act in different ways. So here's one here, okay, and you can see that we started off with the dot down the bottom there, and it's worked its way up. Now it's worked its all the way up to the top, so it would have continued on. So and again you can see another example with something like this. Okay, so you can see another example there. So you can see the colours have actually separated out, and as we can start to see here also, the fact that it's now starting to pull its way up, and that's essentially the process of chromatography. So we tend to use it for inks and for dyes and things like that. It used to be used back in the days of when people used to forge documents and forge bank checks, but we could always check the type of ink that was used because they should basically be about the same. So that's the process of chromatography. Okay, the last of our techniques, and we've had to move, is a process called centrifuging, which is basically, it just means spinning, and we spin it with very quickly, and we use solutions only. So we do with things like blood and the like. We're going to use some pulpy orange juice, some standard pulpy orange juice. So I'll put some into one of the test tubes here. I'll put in 2 lots because that'll give us a good amount. Okay, and then place it on. Now you need to have 2 or 4 because they need to be balanced. Okay, so as long as they're balanced on either side. Now essentially what you do is you turn it, and that then puts it up at an angle and then spins it. Okay, and you can get pretty quick with this. Obviously machines are far quicker. So you simply do that, and you can see it actually work its way around. And what it is doing is it's pushing all of the heavier pulp material down to the bottom and having the water sit up on top. Okay, so you can do quite a fair degree there of spinning. Now hopefully we've done enough there, so we just calm it, and then you can take it out, and you can see there that all of the pulp material is at the bottom here. Okay, a little bit hard to see, but you can see it easier when you're in my spot, and all of the liquid is on top. And that's how we use the process of centrifuging. Now there is a way that you can do this at home, and it's with a simple toy that we call well, I don't even know whether it has a name or not, but essentially what you can do is get yourself a CD. Okay, get yourself some rope. I'll just take this out here. Okay, so get yourself a CD, get yourself some string brickies line, works pretty well for this, and then a button, and just essentially hot glue that onto a CD, and then we've got some pulpy orange juice here. And essentially what you do with it is you just spin it like this, okay, until it starts to essentially get tight, and then you can spin it. Okay, and you spin it in and out, and this is a technique that they've used called a paper fuge, and they use it in remote communities where they don't have power to be able to spin and to separate blood. It's actually a really cool device. What we've had to do with ours is we've had to glue on the 2 vials of orange juice, because obviously it comes out at a bit of speed. Don't tape them on at all, because that creates a bit of a problem. But if you do get the chance, have a look at the paper fuge video on YouTube to basically see how it works. And it actually gets up a fair whack of steam. And again too, you can actually see that you've separated out the solids from the liquids. So those are the 3 separation techniques of magnetic separation, chromatography, and centrifuging. So thank you for accessing Warwick Science's Year 7 Chemical Science Film Practical on separation techniques.